what's taking place. And he made this statement at the time, but didn't settle as well then as it did later on. So we don't take no chances. And now, when you first hear that, it doesn't come over quite the way you want it to go over. In other words, I wanted to go in there and get the inspection and go in there and get the doctor and say, you know what, we got to this part, we're okay, you're good to go. But that's not what happened. He went in there and said, we need to schedule this. And he said, you can wait, it's up to you if you want to wait. He said, but I want to make sure there's no more chances. So what they're going to do is they're going to go in and remove all the stuff that they radiated in my throat that he's okay with right now, get it out, and he's going to do another biopsy of the tumor, just to make sure. He said, people think that the tumor just go away. He said, they act funny. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, sometimes it's scar tissue, whatever else. So they're going to, when they do the throat surgery, they're going to go into another biopsy. But see, the thing about it is that I'm concentrating on one thing when what I should be concentrating on. He says, I don't take any chances. So the surgery is to complete the work. So that's praise the Lord. And one of the things is I've always relied on somebody very strongly in the church to pray for me, and they give me a word a season ago. And that word didn't seem to fit for that season. And when I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to go through all this in my head, get back home, because I've rounded up for one battle after another. So that you understand, it's not just one thing. It's side effect after side effect. When you get one side effect dealt with, another side effect shows up, and you go on those lines. It's, what happens is that you'll have those moments like this morning at 7:30, 8 o'clock. You feel nothing. You know what I'm saying? Feeling nothing is just let me lay here and feel nothing. That's awesome. No side effects, no sickness, no nausea, no nothing else. I'll take feeling nothing this morning. But when I'm sitting there trying to go back over that in my head and try to examine what was going on, Sylvia called up. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. She called up, and before Nessa could get the words out of her mouth, I started bawling because I remembered a word. Hallelujah. A word I thought was for at one time. And I said, that's not, because you meant, I mean, it didn't fit. I thought she had missed, and it was about the first surgery. And in that first word she gave me, she almost dictated the second surgery that we talked about. And she told me, well, you stand up and tell us, give the Lord praise.
This was actually before the plan had been given to y'all. And God doesn't always give me real specific type words to give to people, but we were praying for the two of them. I believe they were seated up here. And I went right to Pastor and told him that the surgery would be clean, there would be no excessive bleeding, there would be no infection, and the doctors would be able to remove what needed to be removed. And then when the plan was revealed, I said, well, Lord, I don't always know when I missed it. Was this Nurse Sylvia running up there to say something? I'll be quiet and sit for a while and just meditate on that. And I thought, I missed that one. But as soon as we heard that there was going to be more surgery, I knew that was a word for that particular event. We can rest in that.
So in other words, that word, which I thought was for one time, ended up being for another time. And I believe in my heart of hearts, with everything shared, and as I'm trying to learn at the place which I'm at, let me get my glasses because I want to read a couple of things to you. Well, I'm going to just tell you from my heart. I go up to Falcon. What you may not be aware of, and I may have told you, I can't remember, the same place that my mama had her stroke start is the same place that this all started with me. I never got a chance to, I don't know if I told anybody that at all. She was at Falcon Colwood Memorial Auditorium, and the stroke started happening while she was there that night. She just didn't recognize fully what the symptoms and all were. And because of that, when I went back up there to go to the prayer meeting, while I'm there, I started having such pains that I needed to leave. I just couldn't stay. And when I got back home, I went back to see the doctor, and the doctor started the process that allowed me to be on the pathway that day. While I'm there, I hear in my spirit God telling me that your name's going to be called out. I've told you this before, but I'm trying to share a word that I'm going to reiterate today of what's taking place. And I kind of said, this is not me. I mean, this is not God. This is just me. This just doesn't make any sense right now. All these names that are there, over 1,000 and some people, they're just going to call your name out for something. And sure enough, they didn't say it all at one time. They said, Tim. And of course, I told you, Leggett. So I went up and I got this book. And it's Intercession, Strategic Middle. And this entire book right now is talking about the uncomfortableness of intercession. And we a lot of times we look at a lot of different aspects of prayer and a lot of different ways of approaching it. But intercession, and intercession for the lost, and intercession for the needy, it is not something that's comfortable. It's not something that goes over easy. It's something that you have to stay with, and you have to stay focused. And this entire book is talking about one of the greatest activities of the enemy, and one of the greatest activities of the devil right now is to go after pastors and get them to abandon their post. You understand what I'm trying to say? And I'm having a hard time to believe in coincidences and in the things that we've been going through and the subjects for which we've been looking at and the topics for which we've been talking about. I can't seem to put this in a place that it's just happening. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm with a group of individuals that I have watched grow over the years, that I've watched dig down deep inside of themselves and how prayer warriors start to rise to the surface. We started seeing examples of that in the altar on Sunday morning. We start seeing people pray for individuals and following the anointing and the leading of the Lord. And right now I know that I've been a target. And I've told individuals before, that's pretty much what the enemy wants to do is, go after a target. And what I have to do or whatever's involved. What I'm trying to tell you as a minister is I don't want to abandon my post.
Amen.
I don't want to abandon my post. I believe we've got a work to do ahead of us.
Amen.
I do believe that in my heart and in my spirit that this has done a deeper and inner work in me that I'm even aware of right now myself.
Amen.
I will tell you it has almost crumpled my faith. I will tell you that it has done things in my spirit and in my heart that it hasn't been simply hanging on. It's been hanging on by a fingernail. There have been times in which I have asked my wife over and over again for those periods of feeling nothing. And I said, look, it's gone from one thing to another. And my wife's been there as such a source of encouragement. My parents have been there through me thick and thin. They have showed up. There's a love that's in my family right now that I can't remember.
Hallelujah. Thank you, God.
You can hear my dad's voice. I can't, my dad don't even talk. I don't know who he's talking to, honestly. And I don't mean that bad. I mean, he lights up when he talks to me, when he calls me a nickname now. He never called me. Partner, I forgot what it was that he called me. And I was just, this is dead. And I've watched that take place, happen. I would like to say that my faith is where I want it to be now, but it's not. But I believe it's getting where it needs to be. And so what I want you to understand is that right now is I don't believe I'm here because we got it wrong. I believe I'm here because we got it right.
Amen.
And that God's going to call you to do some things that may be untypical or not exactly what you're used to or exactly taking you somewhere where you've already gone before. God has a need. Why am I saying this? Well, folks, maybe right now with my faith doubting and things that's happening, I could sit here and stand and say before you that what I've just observed the last 3 or 4 days is a coincidence would be kind of hard stretch for me to even try to believe that myself.
Amen.
I don't know where you were, but I saw an exact target in the Greenville area. I saw every single picture that showed the eye of the storm, showed it heading straight for this area. I'm not talking about somewhere around this area. I'm talking about when the storm first started, it made a straight beeline. It never turned. It never did anything. It said it had this particular place in mind the whole time. And because of that, man, my spirit was troubled. I was sitting there, Lord, what's this going to happen? How's this going to take place? Oh my goodness. Remembering Floyd. I was here during Floyd. And I remember it was devastating. And the things that were taking place. And I'm sitting here watching all this and I'm praying, God, please, send it away. Send it away. And then I watched it get here and all of a sudden it's like it hit a barrier. Just like it hit a barrier. And it kind of backed up. See, what I want you to understand is that storm that hit us at pace and the speed that everybody continually forecast. The forecast to get down to 2 and to 1 did not happen the whole time.
Amen. That's right.
They kept it up to 4 before it reached this coast. Right. Every single time. Somebody give God praise. Because I mean, here we are is a storm that has the potential to completely devastate. And imagine all the flooding we got right now on top of all the wind. And where we would be right now. Now, I want to tell you, and I need you to listen to my heart, is I believe that God answers some prayers.
Amen.
But I also believe that God's trying to continue to wait for His people.
Yes.
Is that there are going to be opportunities afforded us. The potential for the gospel to be spread like it's never been spread before.
Jesus.
Floyd was supposed to be a 100-year storm, 500-year storm. They call this one a 1,000-year storm? At one time, I mean, I'm thinking that's what they were saying. It's a historical storm. Greatest one in history.
Amen.
Well, we may have not suffered its full brunt, but we are surrounded with those who have had
Amen.
a devastating. When have you ever heard detour in an entire state? So why am I saying this? And it's not easy for me to say, because I believe we've been talking about Jesus coming back soon for a while now, but I don't think we still understand the expediency for which is about to happen.
Amen.
Is that I believe in my heart and in my spirit that we as a church don't need to be thinking we're in alignment with God. We need to be in alignment with God. And that we as a church need to pick up the most powerful weapon the church has ever been given, even though it puts us in an uncomfortable middle. See, an uncomfortable middle means it's standing between God and those who are eternally lost. I mean, not always getting to say the things you want to say to them. Are we recording this morning? Remind me, if you have can, when it's over at the end of the service, we got someone that's associated with our church who needs our prayers today. Needs it desperately. So try to remind me when I have the recording, stop at the end and share this with you at the end of the service. Some of you may be already aware. So anyway, as it's looking at this, it said that one of the primary activities of the enemy is get the pastor to abandon his post. And guys, we also know in our church, it's not just the pastor.
That's right.
Is that all of us has got a call of God on our life. And so what I want you to realize is that no matter how things rough get, how rough things get, now's not the time to run.
Amen.
Now's the time to get to your mustard station. What does that mean, Pastor? Well, if you've ever been in the military, if you've ever been on a ship, it's called a muster station. It's get to your place where the battle is supposed to. When the battle starts, you have an assignment. And that means you stop what you're supposed to do. You stop what you're doing. And at that point, you take your primary role. See, in the ship, there are a lot of things that need to take place. There are people who need to do the upkeep, salt water, it would rust the ship. And so you've always got people going around cleaning up the ship. You got all these people who need to eat. So you got to make sure they got food and preparation. You have certain things and duties that are involved in just keeping the ship in operational duty. But when warfare hits, there are responsibilities and there are tasks that are your primary concern. So yeah, the ship's going to rust, but fixing rust is not the time now. Yeah, there are other things that need to be done, but right now the primary thing is let's get in the war.
Amen.
Let's get where we're supposed to be. Let's say what we're supposed to do. Now, I want to let you know today how much I appreciate you, how much I love you. And I will, with everything in my heart, do everything I can to know God's will, because I want to be in my post. That's my job.
Amen.
That's my desire and my wishes, and I wish you continue to pray that. And that's why I'm here today, because I want to do that. And I'm going to need your help to pray to know when to push and when. Does that make sense to everybody? And if God kind of gives you a peek on the shoulder or says something in your ear, please feel free to call me. Because I'm not in this by myself. So with that being the case, is that you will be afforded opportunities coming up here shortly to potentially help other individuals who are in dire and desperate need. And just as this morning I wanted you to go in there and just start writing down and making sure that all the people that are connected with our church are okay, they're not in danger, they're not in trouble, and they're not facing it by themselves, I want you to continue that mindset. Because this isn't over. It ain't over. But again, I'm not abandoning my post.
Amen.
What about you?
Amen.
And I've done in my spirit what I'm supposed to do this morning. So you may be blessed for a little while. I'm having 55-minute sermons.